I'll be discussing why I believe there are more advantages to using a thick or fat client over a thin client. Firstly, the thick client is an architecture that provides rich functionality independent of the central server of the program, whereas a thin client and fat server is an architecture where the server handles most of the intensive computations. The thick client requires less server requirements, does not need a higher level of performance when compared to a thin client. Working offline with a thick client is much easier than with a thin client because a thick client does not require a constant network connection. It only connects when the internet permits. The thick client is better for gaming because thick clients tend to have more advantages in media-rich applications that are only bandwidth intensive if they are fully downloaded. Thick clients have software products that are made for personal computers to have their own local resources, and if we were to run this same software on a thin client, it would be more difficult. When we run a fat or thick client, it requires no extra computing resources. Thick clients have a higher server capacity. The more work that is carried or done by the client, the less the server needs to do, which can increase the number of users the server can support. In a client-server network, the presentation logic is responsible for the client computer. In a three-tier architecture, the software on the client computer is responsible for the presentation logic. An application server is responsible for the application logic, and a separate database server is responsible for the data access logic and data storage. In a thick client approach, most of the application logic is placed on the client.